Well, howdy. It's May 30th. It's Journal 64, T plus 58. Um, Even I marvel at that uh, these days. um, had labs this morning early again, and the numbers were okay, just okay. Um, a couple of the numbers that I was so happy about uh, being closer to normal, even normal for a myelofibrosis patient, at this point had dropped slightly. And when the doctor saw the look on my face, I'm sure he saw the concern that was there. Um, and if he didn't, I made sure that he did, because I asked him, "So how am I doing, boss?" And he proceeded to tell me that this is normal for where we are. Not to get excited. There would be the need for transfusions as we moved further along, additional transfusions for both blood and platelets. And that's all to be expected. It's part of a year-long process, uh, which is not always what you want to hear, but what you need to recognize in order to survive it, in order to get through it. Uh, so it was a good day in that respect, and the right numbers were adequate, and that's important. And there's Monday will tell the story. There are all kinds of everything that you put in your body has a consequence. Um, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't claim to be a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm starting to get a pretty good sense of how things work pharmacologically. Um, certainly in the respect that every drug you put in your body, regardless of what it is, has a side effect, has some kind of a consequence. And I put enough drugs in my body at this point so that there are lots of consequences. And one of them is actually edema, which is the buildup of liquid in your body and swelling in your extremities, particularly in your lower legs and calves in that area there. And sometimes the only way and it's probably the result of a lot of things, but pathologically they've ruled out just about everything that would normally cause it. Um, like heart disease or any of that other stuff. I've been pretty well given a clean bill of health when it comes to that. Um, so they give you a diuretic, something to make you pee. And I've got experience with diuretics because they kept giving them to me while I was an inpatient. And I had sincerely hoped that I was done with that. And unfortunately, I wasn't. Um, and as my father would say, it makes you pee like a racehorse. And I just got the prescription for that filled today. So it limits your mobility, because you really got to know where the closest restroom is, um, especially if you take it in the morning. For those first few numbers of hours that are there, and I'm looking at that, as well as a number of other things. But today was interesting in a number of respects, not just the fact that my numbers weren't exactly where I hoped they would be, and I hoped they would be at least where they were last Monday, um, and not lower. But you live with that. It's part of the process. When the doctor says that these changes occur in waves, and you have to get used to that. I really like the idea that he didn't say a roller coaster, because that's more violent and more abrupt. So they come in waves, which unless you're in Hawaii, you know, bearable. They're reasonable, and sometimes that's all you have to hear. So we finished up with that, and then our dentist, my Leslie's dentist and my dentist, who we've been going to for probably 40 years, I guess, some insane number of years. Um, where they were on their way, he and his wife were on their way to Palm Springs, and they were coming out this way, and they made an appointment to go to Rancho Cucamonga to an art exhibit and stop by for just a short period of time to say hi, make sure I'm still in one piece, uh, get a better idea of what was going on with me, and what everything is like. Make sure I wasn't minimizing things in the blog, and that I was accurately representing where I am. I don't know how to do it any other way, so I'm glad that they were able to validate that. Um, and then after that, there's I say a young woman, she's my age. Um, I guess 70 is the new 50 if you allow it to be, or the new 60, and who listened to the blog and made the decision to have the transplant based upon a number of things that I had to say about surviving it. Um, had her birthday today, had her transplant birthday today. Uh, and I went to see her once before to let her know I was thinking of her, and that how much I appreciated her following me on the blog, and the fact that she reached out to share what it meant to her, and the decision she made based upon it, which is all the fuel you need to keep going. Um, and the holographic brain plays tricks with you when you do something like that. She's on the same ward I am. She's in the same room I had, only on the other side of the ward. The ward shaped like the west wing of the ward is shaped like a U, a huge U, and she's on the other side of where I was. I was in 6103. She's in 6133. Um, and we went to see Rose and wish her a happy birthday, because this is a big deal, and share some more information about what she was going through right now, and what she had to look forward to in order to get through it, and offer some advice about the administrative end of getting through it. Caseworkers, social workers, all the other things that are involved in it, and left feeling really, really good about that whole interaction. And it it was amazing to be taken back into that room again, to think about where I was going up until my new birthday, to recognize that the symptoms, not the symptoms, but the side effects of all of the chemo drugs that they gave me, and that they've subsequently given Rose, um, all become very, very real all over again. Uh, you don't you don't feel the pain the same way that you did when you were going through it. You don't have this great need to scream out for morphine, um, which I swore I'd never do, and then wound up doing more often than I wanted to, just to make the bad man go away. But you still have that really strange sensation of being there all over again. The odors, the scents, the smells, um, the sounds, uh, being uber sensitive to noise around you, or to light, or any of the other things that went along with this. And I think that's a good thing. I think for me it was a really good thing, because it helped me understand where I was and where I am now, and the delta, the change that I've been through, and the fact that I'm so much better now, um, as I work on everything that I need to work on in order to completely recover. And I guess what I was thinking about in the car on the way home. By the way, I found today incredibly exhausting, and much more so than it should have been. Um, but it was still good because I kept thinking about hope, and I kept thinking about responsibility, and I kept thinking about karmic balance, um, and the need the it's not an urge. This has actually become a palpable need to give back, to work hard so that other people um, can have the same opportunity that I did and the information they need to be successful with it. Because the alternative is really a death sentence. So, it makes it easy to be courageous when something like that happens. In any case, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow, um, as I do every night when I get to do this. So, till the next time, stay well and take care. I'll be looking for you. Y'all take care now. Bye bye.